Hello, Squirrel Tribe. So a lot of people were in for a very big surprise today when President Donald Trump had a live briefing that nobody was really expecting. I was not aware it was happening until my husband said, hey, listen, Donald Trump is going live. Let's go live and talk about this and watch this. So we did that on his channel. I'll put a link at the end if you guys want to see it, because a lot of people missed it. Donald Trump was in, it looked like Mar-a-Lago. He never specified exactly where he was, but from the looks of everything, it looked like he was inside Mar-a-Lago, and he had a bunch of reporters there, and he basically, no teleprompter, no script. He talked about what is going on right now between him and Kamala Harris. He talked about Joe Biden. He talked about JD Vance a little bit. He talked about the state of the economy of our country, of the world, and he talked about the policies he wants to implement when he becomes president of the United States on November 5th this year, after the election is all said and done, right? It was a very, very eye-opening and important briefing, in my opinion. And the fact that nobody really knew what was happening says a lot about what the media and everybody else are doing right now to kind of, I don't want to say quiet the Trump train or the MAGA crowd, but that is kind of, it's pretty much what it is. They're doing everything they can to suppress it. If you jump on any social media right now, or you go and look on any website with news articles, or you go look at any newspapers or magazines, you're seeing all this great grandstand. Kamala Harris is amazing. She's the next best thing, next to sliced bread and everything else. And her VP pick, Tim Walz, is such a stand-up, amazing guy. And you don't hear anything about Donald Trump or JD Vance unless they're trying to poke holes at one of the two of them, or trying to poke the bear, if you will. You don't really see any support for the two of them. You don't see any mainstream media talking about what Donald Trump and JD Vance are talking about at their rallies, and the things that they want on the key points to their political, I don't even know the right word, y'all. It is late and my brain is not braining right now. It's been a very, very long day. They're not really telling you what their political stances are, and what, not like outside the Republican thing, but like what they want for the country. They're talking all this crap about Kamala. No, they're talking all this great stuff about Kamala, but they can't, none of the things they are saying are telling us anything that she has done, that she is for, that she wants for the country. Their policies, hello, there's the word. They're not telling us what her policies are. All they are doing is showing, you know, videos and pictures of Kamala and Tim Walz laughing and smiling and whatever else, and there's no substance to it. Whereas Donald Trump, he goes to his rallies and there is substance. He is talking about what is going on in our country and in our world. He's talking about what he wants to change, the problems that are going on. He's talking about how he has no plan at all of taking away Social Security, how he wants to take away taxes off Social Security. He wants to no tax on tips. He wants to make it so that we are no longer reliant upon outside sources for everything we have here in our country, whereas Kamala wants everything to be about outside sources and needing everything from everybody else. And it's been crazy. But watching him talk today, it really did solidify the difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, in my personal opinion. I watched Donald Trump like I had no idea who he was, what he stood on, what he was about, what he had done before, anything like that. And I watched him as a human being, right? And as a human being, he seems like somebody that you could just go have a conversation with. I do not feel that way personally about Kamala Harris. I know I have squirrel moments. Obviously, it's called SquirrelTribe for a reason, where I lose train of thought, or I jump topics and whatever else. But I have a brain, and I have knowledge, and I know what I'm talking about, and I am smart, and I can tell by looking at Kamala that she is not. She does not have the knowledge of what this country has been through. She does not have the knowledge of what this country needs to do in order to survive the future. And Donald Trump does have that. Kamala Harris is not somebody I would want to sit down and have a meal with, or a coffee with, or a drink with, or just shoot the shit over whatever, sit next to at a sports game. Like, she does not give me that vibe, whereas Donald Trump, surprisingly, and I do mean surprisingly, gives the vibe that if you were sitting next to him, whether it's at a, ritzy steakhouse, or at a Taco Bell, or at a college basketball game or an NFL game or something else, I feel like he's the kind of guy where you could have a legit conversation about whatever was going on in the vicinity and higher, bigger topics, right? Now, there's this post from Laura Loomer on X, and I think it's very important, and I want to read this to you because, as my husband and I discussed during the live stream with the Donald Trump briefing, the problem here is that you and I and people like us, we are so positive that Donald Trump is the right pick for the president of the United States versus Kamala Harris, that we're like, there's no way he's going to lose. But here's the problem. That mentality is not helping us because, like I pointed out in the beginning, there is nothing in mainstream media giving any positive points to Donald Trump. Everything right now is based on kissing Kamala Harris's butt and making her seem like she's absolutely amazing. And she's done so many great things when she did not even get voted to be in the where she's at right now, to be on the ballot for the president of the United States. It's all been this big chess game, and we have to keep in mind that the way that they are pushing her is going to make people vote for it. They're going to be like, oh, I can't wait to vote for a woman. It'd be so great to have a woman in there. No clue what her policies are. No clue what she's done, who she is, what she would do. It's all about getting a woman in the White House. Then there's the ones, get a black woman in the White House, get an Indian woman in the White House, get an Asian Pacific woman in the White House, get a woman who's married to a Jewish man in the White House. All these different things. Get a woman who has a kid who's for Hamas. Like, all these different things are what are being pushed to get people to jump on the Kamala train. She's probably had her own trains, but that's not the point of this at all. So it makes me think, though, we have got to really realize that when we're having these conversations about Donald Trump, and obviously he's going to win, because obviously is not a word we can use anymore, because you just never know. YouTube, oh God, I don't even know how to do this one. YouTube has made a whole thing about you're not allowed to talk about results of elections and things like that. And I have so much I want to talk to you guys about Fulton County and what has happened there and what is going on in Georgia and what they have uncovered and stuff. But I have to figure out how to put that together to where YouTube will not just yank it down, because they do not want the truth of things getting out. So I'm going to try that one tomorrow. I got to wrap my head around how to do it. But for right now, I want to read you this post from Laura Loomer on X, and then we're going to get a little farther into some other stuff with Donald Trump here. It says, let's just call it like it is. Trump's strongest allies and biggest donors are all concerned. They see no ground game. Zero calls for accountability from at the House GOP, who is on vacation until September 9th. Trump was shot less than a month ago, and nobody's even talking about it, even though the Secret Service whistleblowers said we should expect another assassination attempt. Harris's honeymoon isn't a honeymoon. She's getting away with FEC violations, and nobody on Team Trump is combating the astroturfing in the media and the paid for social media operations to manufacture her as a legitimate candidate. Why not force the media to talk about who is getting paid? Why not demand that Harris be held accountable for the cover-up of Biden's declining mental and physical health? Why not remove Biden and put the pressure on Kamala being an extension of Biden? Republicans are dropping the ball. Biden is going to leave office unscathed and then pardon his crackhead son on the way out. This is Laura's words, not mine. Nothing is being done to combat the Dems' plan to not certify the election on January 6, 2025. I've been screaming about this for months and nobody wants to even address it. Guess what? We are on track to lose the House to someone, so someone better take it seriously, or else Representative Raskin and Representative Swalwell will successfully keep Trump out of office. SCOTUS already said Congress could do this, but Republicans are silent. Why? These last 4 weeks has produced some of the shittiest messaging from surrogates on TV I have ever seen. There is zero offense. Guess Republicans refuse to actually fight fire with fire. Zero follow through with James Comer's bullshit investigations to nowhere because everyone is on vacation. Whatever happened to impeaching Biden? Zero plan to combat big tech election interference. Some staff are too territorial to allow anyone who wants to actually help, and then some don't even give President Trump information that he needs to see. Don't get me started on the lack of TV presence. I'm disappointed, and I'm tired of giving feedback that is ignored when everyone knows I'm right, but they are too scared to say it because they think their access will be revoked. Time to get serious before we lose the whole country. I don't care who I offend because this is the truth. If you care about President Trump, you should want to see the truth. Now, again, this is Laura Loomer on X, and the thing here is what she is saying is true, But I don't know if it's true in the way that she's stating it, because there are plenty of people who are speaking up and speaking out, but there are so many platforms right now who are refusing to give Republicans a voice. They're refusing to give Donald Trump a voice. They're refusing to give people who support him a voice. Me here on YouTube, people like me here on YouTube who are talking positively for Republicans and pointing out the negatives of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and everybody else like that. We are not being shown to the masses because it's not what they want. And we say, who is they? Obviously, it's the people pulling the strings in not just the White House, but the world right now. They want Kamala Harris to win. Therefore, they want only positive things being said about her, and they want to silence everything else. Laura says, well, you know, why isn't Trump doing more to whatever? We don't know what he's trying to do. He could be screaming from the rooftops, and everything is being shut down because they want to suppress the truth at every angle they possibly can. Because if everybody could see exactly what Kamala Harris has not done, exactly what she has done in a negative way, it would make their plan backfire. And they can't have that, right? She has pulled in millions, hundreds of millions of dollars for them. She is their cash cow right now. So they cannot let Trump get out there and say, hey, this is stupid. What she is doing is dumb. Hey, Project 2025 is a bunch of horse shit. I have nothing to do with it. He can't say anything. People are like, Trump needs to quit calling Kamala Harris a nasty woman because that's going to bite him in the butt and it's going to make women not vote for him. And some of those things may be true, but also you have to realize that sugarcoating stuff does not help anybody. But the problem is that no matter how big your voice is, if the people at the top don't want you yelling, they will silence you. And that's been happening to a lot of people. We know a lot of channels on YouTube itself that have been removed. Videos off of channels that have been removed. Mine, I've had 2 videos removed so far. Kevin's had, my husband, Kevin247, you can look him up on YouTube. He's had videos that have been dinged and hit. We've gotten slapped on the wrist numerous times because we refuse to fall in line with the kissing of the Kamala butt. It's just not something we will do because it is not true. And we are all about truth. And the truth is what they are not about. And that is where we are as a country right this second. And it's horrible because it's making it so people don't know the truth behind who they are voting for. They don't know what they're voting for. And then on November 5th, when people go to vote, they're going to vote based off of this parade of crap that they have seen, Meg Thee Stallion and all this laughing and Kamala on The View and all these other things. And they're not going to be voting on actual policies that will either help or hurt the American people. At the end of the day, I don't give 2 shits if you're popular or if you can make collard greens or if your daughter is a son or whatever else. None of that matters to me. What matters to me is, what are you going to do when somebody wants to nuke us? What are you going to do about our southern border? What are you going to do about our economy and the homelessness and the food situation and all these chemicals? And like, those are the things I care about. I do not care if you know black artists. I could give 2 rats' asses about that. But that is what they're pushing right now. They are pushing for Kamala to win the popular vote, not the smart vote. And that's what we really have got to pay attention to. So this other thing that I came across here, if I can get it to open up. Open, sesame. I said sesame. This is what I need you to hear, okay? Because this is extremely important. And when I say important, it's because this is Kamala Harris from 2012. She is giving career advice to a group of women. She's in a women's group, where generally speaking, you should try to uplift women and point them in a direction of women helping women, okay? And I want you to hear this cackling moron and what she says. And the lady next to her in purple, if I can get the screen to like look decent, look at her. Even she is like, what? And this is 12 years ago. She was an idiot 12 years ago. She's an idiot today. What do you think she's going to be for the next 4 years? Still an idiot. But listen to this.
Mentors come in many shapes and forms and sizes. And so some of my greatest mentors have been men. And when all else fails, just remember there's this little piece of advice I will give you, which I give myself. When all else fails, just be lovely. You know what I mean?
What does that even mean just be lovely. When all else fails, just be lovely. Ma'am, just being lovely is not going to help our economy. Just being lovely is not going to fix our southern border. Just being lovely will not keep us from getting nuked by another country. Just being lovely is the dumbest shit I've ever heard come out of her mouth. And she says some pretty stupid stuff, right? This is the woman that they have planted in hopes of winning. And it's absolutely atrocious to me personally that they think women are so basic that that's what we want. That out of every woman, sorry, it's getting a little bright over here. Out of every woman possible to put in the office, that's what they think that women want, is that cackling moron in the White House. It says a lot. Now, we talked previously about how there was supposed to be a debate between President Trump and Joe Biden on September 10th on ABC or Fox. I don't remember which one it was. And I don't think I have it here. One of the two stations, right? There was supposed to be that debate between them. But that was before Joe Biden decided to take his name off the presidential ballot and drop out. And now it's Kamala. And Donald Trump said, hey, listen, different person. We're not going to stick to the same set of rule or the same setup because it's not the same group of people. He wanted to move it to September 4th. And I told you, I said, there's no way she's going to do September 4th because then people will see before early voting that she has no ground to stand on, that she has no idea what's going on. She has no actual policies that she's going to put in place, that she understands any of that stuff. I said, she will not do it. And Donald Trump, he knew she wasn't going to do it either. He was like, you know what, fine. And he gave in, which is good for us. I still think it's good for us that he gave in and said, fine, we'll stick with September 10th. So, they're calling this breaking news. It happened right after the live stream briefing that Donald Trump did today. It says Trump and Harris will confirm they will attend ABC's, it is ABC, September 10th presidential debate as scheduled. This is according to the ABC network. Former President Donald Trump said in a Thursday news conference that he wants to debate his opponent 3 times, including the September 10th date that was previously agreed to by both parties' campaigns before President Joe Biden withdrew from the 2024 race. That date will serve as the first time Trump and Kamala Harris will share a stage since she was tapped to replace Biden weeks ago. Here's the thing. Trump is going to wipe the floor with her. I am really, really hoping that they have decent moderators, that they do not have pre-planned questions that both people know, because Trump today, again, I'm going to put a link. You guys have got to go watch this live stream from earlier today. Reporters were asking him questions left and right, and it was like having a conversation. He had no idea what the questions were going to be, and he did not balk on any of them. He answered every single one, and they are extremely important questions with extremely important answers. And I don't think that if they do this debate, well, let me rephrase. I hope when they do this debate that they have moderators, that there are no pre-planned questions that both candidates get, that there are no earpieces allowed, and that there are no notes. Because Trump did not need a single note in front of him today to be able to spout off numbers, dates, names, and everything of stuff that has happened in the history of our country and people who are in power in all these other places. Kamala would never be able to remember those things because she has no clue. She has absolutely no friggin' clue about what has happened, what is going on, what could transpire, who was where. And I think the debate is going to be huge. I am glad that it is before, obviously, the election, because there's no point in having it afterwards. Yeah, I know that sounded dumb, but I'm hoping that it's enough that not everybody will do early voting and that people that see it will change their minds on, even if they don't want to vote for Trump, I'm hoping they will change their minds on Kamala and maybe vote independent, or, maybe vote for Trump anyway, or not vote at all. In my opinion, not voting at all is better than voting for her, because then you are giving that voice that somebody likes her and wants her in office, as opposed to no voice. And a lot of people are like on the fence on that. Is it better to vote or not vote? But I would much rather hold my vote than vote for Kamala Harris. That's me personally. You do you, boo. Nobody's going to be mad with whatever you decide to do. I will say that Kamala Harris went to Detroit today for her rally without Tim Walz. She went to Detroit to talk to the United Auto Workers of Detroit. I don't know where Tim Walz went, but remember in the beginning, I told you that I fully 100% believed that Josh Shapiro was supposed to be the one picked for Kamala's VP. And then at the last second, Tim Walz was picked. And the reason I believe that is, for one, the video that got leaked from the mayor in Philadelphia, I think, who leaked the video of Josh Shapiro's, vice presidential whatever the word is, y'all know. And another reason is because the kickoff for the 5-day, 7-state thing, like campaign trail, there's the word, campaign trail between Harris and Tim Walz, it kicked off in Philadelphia. Why would it kick off in Pennsylvania if you weren't planning on picking Josh Shapiro? Would it have kicked off in, I don't know, Minnesota, where Tim Walz is from? Wouldn't that have made more sense? The reason it kicked off in Philly is because the plan was Josh Shapiro, and it has been said that Josh Shapiro got the call and was said, hey, I want you as my VP running mate, and Josh Shapiro said, no, thank you. That has been said. I do not have proof of this. It has been said numerous times on numerous different social media sites, and I believe it. 100% I believe that he turned down the offer of vice presidency after that leaked initial video, got the feedback, got the lash back from it. And when she called, he said no. And so she's like, all right, well, we're going for runner-up, and we'll pick Tim Walz because he's absolute just trash. And they still had their plan set on the days and places they were going. And so they kicked off in Philly, where it would have made perfect sense for a Josh Shapiro and Kamala Harris kickoff in Philly, not him. So Kamala Harris, there's this video. Oh God, I hate this. I wonder if I can play this and not get in trouble. Hold on. It's 56 seconds. I wonder if this will work. It's not working. Dang it, it's not working. There's this video from I think it was the one in Detroit today, where somebody like heckled her or did something, and she told them to be quiet because she's talking. And there's this whole thing going around about how this is going to hurt her when it comes to men, because she talked to this person the way nagging wives, is what it's been said, talk to men that men hate. They can't stand it. So she may have hurt her chance of getting votes from men based off the way she talked. I'm going to find the link to it and put it here so you guys can see it, because I want you to watch the video of it since I can't get it to play. But again, the fact that they started in Philly lets you know that it was not supposed to be Tim Walz. It was supposed to be Josh Shapiro. That was supposed to be our VP. And I started thinking, I'm like, okay, I've seen Donald Trump now. We've seen Kamala Harris all over the place. We see Tim Walz. We see JD Vance. Who have we not seen? The actual president of the United States. We have not seen the actual president of the United States in how long? So this X post from Being Libertarian says, amazing proof that we don't really need a president. And they reposted this thing from Tom Bevan. It says, Biden's schedule this week is truly absurd. He had one phone call on Monday, nothing Tuesday or Wednesday, one phone call and a ceremony on Thursday, today, and then off to the beach house. Biden got taken off the Democratic ticket, and he basically said, I'm clocking out, I quit, I'm done, I'm over. And he's doing the least right now. There's literally nobody running the country. There's nobody at the head of the United States. What, 2 calls and 1 ceremony? Who's talking to Ukraine? Who's talking to Russia? Who's talking to North Korea? Who's talking to China? Who's talking to the states in the United States that need help right now? Who's talking to Mexico? Who's talking to everybody? Where's our voice? Who's speaking for the United States right now? What is happening? You have Kamala on a campaign trail, so you know it's not her. You have Joe Biden doing absolutely nothing. Haven't seen Jill Biden in forever either. She went to the Olympics and then it was like crickets, absolutely nothing. This is weird. It's like when you wake up in the middle of the night as a kid and you can't find your parents, and you're like, where'd they go? I mean, they're out back, probably slow dancing in the backyard or doing something crazy. But you're like, what is happening here? There's supposed to be 2 people inside this house with me. Why am I here by myself? And that's what it feels like. It feels like our parents have left, but worst parents in the history of parents, just so we're fully aware. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would be like the shittiest parents ever. But that's what it feels like. As a country, we have nobody making sure that we are safe right now. We have nobody looking out for us right now. We have nobody who is doing their job. Neither of them are doing their job right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely crazy to me. I need you guys to watch, even if you don't watch the link I put at the end, Google it if you want to, just to watch President Trump's briefing today. If you watch the link I put, there's a lot of talking back and forth before and after about what happened between my husband and myself about what happened with the Donald Trump briefing. If you just want the briefing itself, it's on Associated Press on YouTube. Go watch it. You need to hear it. He said some extremely important things. And I think for a lot of people who may have been on the fence, this is one of those briefings that would seal their vote for Donald Trump, as opposed to push them the other way. The man is smart. No matter what you think about him, he is smart and he knows what he's talking about. And that's what we need. We've had too many idiot people in the White House for too long, and it needs to change. Personal opinion, you are not forced to agree with it. It is perfectly fine if you don't, but I would suggest maybe doing a little research on both candidates before you make up your mind. So that's that. Squirrel Tribe, I said we weren't going to do politics today, but it was impossible not to after watching what I watched with Donald Trump today. I will be back tomorrow with a lot more, but now it's time to go cook and feed the family because it's getting late. I love you all. I hope you're happy. I hope you're safe. I hope you're taken care of, and that's it for now. Goodbye.